They don't understand your growth. They say you'll be doing the most, stepping out with them new folks, trying new things that they won't, going places that they don't. Metamorphosis. You are in the middle of becoming more than this. Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. You are in the middle of becoming more than this. Metamorphosis. I was born Muslim. I'm actually third generation Muslim. My mother joined the first resurrection with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and she converted my grandmother to Islam. And then my grandmother married my grandfather. Who I've come to know as my grandfather. He was also Muslim. And I grew up in a masjid. Yeah, I grew up Muslim. I grew up understanding spirit as a part of my reality, a part of the reason why I exist, that I am a spiritual being having a human experience. My mom was different, though. She was very much in tune with her Native American culture. And Islam says you don't have to give up your culture for your religion. So we still dance in the powwow, and we did all of our traditional practices, and we also were Muslim. Beautiful heart inside. Beautiful heart inside. Beautiful heart inside. Today we're on our way to Mount Holyoke College. We're gonna, I think I'm the keynote speaker today, right?
You are.
I remember my first keynote last year at University of Puget Sound. Is that how you say it?
Puget Sound.
I was so nervous. I was so scared I couldn't do it. I was like up all night long the night before writing out different speeches, and I ended up not saying anything that I wrote at all. I honestly, I don't even write out speeches no more. I don't even think about what I'm gonna say until I get there. I just pray about it before I go on stage and ask God to, bring into my consciousness whatever it is, my stream of consciousness, whatever it is that the people need. And so I'm gonna speak today at Mount Holyoke College with another friend of mine, Dr. Amir Ahmed, and he does a lot of speeches on Islamophobia. And I was actually a part of his dissertation because he was talking about the role of Islam in hip hop. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Leave me alone. Yo, I had an idea for this video. It was gonna be crazy. Can't sleep when I'm with you. Can't breathe when you're away. Okay, this is my idea. So when I was growing up, right, a lot of the Muslim kids' parents was afraid of my mother. They thought she did voodoo, right, because she was Native American, which don't even make no sense. But anyway. And she also instigated. She thought it was funny, and she used to be doing you know what I mean? Put little stuff, chicken feet at the door, just trying to scare them. But I had this idea of this video where this woman's looking for her husband. He ain't come home, and she's trying to find him. She looked all over, she can't find him. She comes to the Juju woman's house, and she look around to make sure none of her God-fearing friends, her church friends, make sure they don't see her going into her house. She go in, the woman there cooking stew with some pots. Said, what you up here for, And she tells her, well, it's my man. He been gone 3 whole days. I'm afraid won't come home. He'll come home, Lord, I can't live. I can't breathe. I'm gonna die. Right? And so she said, so what you want me to do? She said, I need you to find him. She said, no, I need you to find yourself. And once you find yourself, he gonna find you. Right? So then she teach her how to be a black married woman, right? So they start doing this little dance in the house, right? And what else? So the husband is at the juke joint, cause the black magic woman is the music, right? Hey, Trey. Just won't stop me in the middle of my goddamn stuff.
I'm so sorry.
Did you hit me in the head? Yeah, so she's teaching her to own herself, as a woman. And that's the way of the black magic woman. It's like an earth woman, right? Because normally we think of black magic as something negative with devil worship, something weird like that. That's not the case. Black is like the soil, So women who are connected to the soil, who understand herbs and roots and nature, right? Who dance in the rain at night.
I know whatever you do.
And so she's teaching her this dance, and you seeing her kind of come more into herself, starting to have confidence, right? And she's, because at first she was just so frazzled, I can't live without this man. And then she comes to understand herself and her own power. Then they dance all the way to the juke joint. And when she sees her man there drunk and hungover, dancing with some, scallywag. And the woman comes in and she's so in charge of herself and so full of her power that the man is looking at her, now he attracted again. Now he like, oh, because that's, they attracted to that power, but she don't want him now. I don't want you now, baby. I know who I am now, and I will not be caught with the likes of you. So they do like a whole little dance at the juke joint, and then she liberate all the women at the juke joints, all the hoes and everything. All the hoes rise up and know they power, and then they dance all together.
This here music, it's my greatest joy and deepest torment. Black magic woman. Hey, I'ma spit this one joint and then I'm through. When I'm done, you gon' testify the truth. It's that black sneak moaning mood. Get you more. It's that thing that no teacher can teach. You ain't born with it, then you'll never reach. It's that thing you don't want your man to know about. Cause he's a good man, it's sure to turn out.
Islam helped me a lot being on the road because it grounded me. So by the time I went out into the world and I saw girls getting lost, in particular in the music industry, it's a business that eats the young. And having my spiritual foundation kept me centered and kept me sane. I had boundaries that I wasn't going to cross or break for anybody.
And I've watched an element of that journey, but maybe know 1% of the kinds of choices you've been and positions you've been put into around making choices. But I'm aware of some of them. And the primary reason why I wanted you to come to this campus was for them to learn about all that you navigated, negotiated, the choices that you made that were at the end of the day about honoring who you are, and that in the end that is what allowed everything to emerge in the way in which you most wanted it to.
It's better than I could have ever imagined. Because every day I get to wake up and be myself. I don't have to pretend to be somebody else just to put food on the table.
It's powerful and it's hard, especially when you sit at these intersections that maybe other people don't.
And it's hard because you always feel misunderstood, And but it's funny, the fear of being misunderstood is actually worse than actually being misunderstood. You worry yourself about it so much. Sometimes people may understand better than you think they will.
Later today I'll be asking you some more questions. So maybe are you open to just taking whatever question from them?
Absolutely.
And I'm not sure how much. I think there's varying levels of familiarity of her work from different trajectories. So, but I mean, really, let's just open it up and just see what you all have questions about, thoughts about, want to know from Maimuna about her journey.
I always have a hard time navigating through the identity as an artist as it intersects with like your Muslim identity, right? And I know as a singer and as a musician, in many parts of our religion, and there's so many different ideologies and understandings of what music is. Is it haram? Like, is it halal? Like, is it something that you can do? Like, is it permissible or not? And with the many and the various understandings of it, how do you navigate your Muslim identity as a musician?
Well, and to me that comes into the choices of how I express my art. I think art, like any action, can be halal or haram depending on how you express yourself through it, depending on what your intention is, right? And more so than being just an artist, but being an artist in the music industry, which has an agenda to exploit women, to dehumanize people of color. Being in an industry like that and having to constantly make choices about, can I get on the track with that person? That's probably going to be great for my career, but that's not really what I want to create in the world. I don't want to perpetuate certain stereotypes in the world, certain energies and vibrations.
Say there was like so many restrictions on, I guess, being authentic to myself, or just being what I wanted to do, like talking about movies or talking about songs I liked. It was very it was not accepted. So a lot of times as a kid I was very angry with God. I was like, he expects so much of me. There's a lot of expectations. I don't meet all of these.
For me, when I always go to my mother for counsel, right? And she'll say, get quiet on it, go to spirit, right? And what she means is that, and sometimes it's annoying because it'll be a simple question. I'm like, why you can't just tell me the answer? But when she says get quiet on it, what she is telling me to do is to fast on it, to silence fast, not just food fast, but to silence fast. She'll tell me to, and these are things that we also do, you know, for native people, right? She'll tell me go sit by the river and don't talk for, 7 days or something like that, and pray on the answer and ask God, what is it that you will want me to do? What's your specific instructions for me? The person, Maimuna, Kwayera, Yusuf, what is it that you want me to do in this portion of my journey and my healing? You get what I'm saying? And ask for very personal, specific instructions on where you are in your journey and what will be the best outcome for you. That's the best thing. That's what my mother would tell me. That's what I would, you know what I mean? Because I do feel like, although our religion is broad, right? Instructions for everybody. To me, spirituality is very personal.
Absolutely.
It is your personal conversations you have with God, right? So we have our ritual, and that keeps us disciplined. That keeps us from being in the world. When you know what I'm saying? Being of the world when we in the world. And everybody's high and everybody's drunk, but I ain't never touched none of that. You know what I'm saying? I never touched any of that. Because my religion taught me that's shaitan in that bottle. Why would I do that to myself and put myself in a compromising position to now be harmed? You get what I'm saying? I'm going to stay clean of mine and do what I came here to do. So in the midst of whatever y'all doing, I still know what I came here to do, and I'm not losing focus of that.
You know, I was criticized for that a lot, by people I was in business with, because I had so many, I had a lot of rules, and they always want you to be very flexible, willing to, what is that word they use? They always say you have to be willing to compromise. You must be willing to compromise. And I had a lot of boundaries. Like, I'll compromise some things, but there are a lot of things that I'm not willing to compromise. And if that means that we can't do this deal, then we just can't do this deal, and I'm okay with that. But that was my Islam, that gave me those kinds of barriers and protected me really from a lot of vultures, because there were a lot of rooms and doors and situations I just wasn't going to go into, because I was like, that's not in alignment with with where my morals are.
Trying new things that they won't, going places that they don't, metamorphosize. You are in the middle of becoming more than this, metamorphosize.